Hey guys, welcome back to Home Theater Guru. So today we've got something really cool. This is the soon to be released Vision Master Max from Valerion. As you know, we've already had the Pro 2 in. The Pro 2, just like the Max, uses something called EBL, which is enhanced black level. That did make a world of difference on the Pro 2. It's still not as good as the JVC, because JVC is known for its great black levels. That was really where the JVC pulled ahead. Now, of course, with the Max, we have an iris. So that's going to change things quite a bit as far as black levels go. But so I did the unboxing already, but I did not have the sound on, so I'm having to refilm it. But you get the same remote that you got with the Pro 2, which is a really cool looking remote, nice and clean. It's got your Netflix and YouTube, different, direct app buttons. It's a really nice remote. You got your power cord. Let's go ahead. I'm going to pick this up again. Like I said, I did this once. I'm going to do it again, bring it up to the camera and kind of show you guys what the projector looks like. So we've got like a black mirror finish. Let's go ahead and pull this off. It's even shinier, but it's a really nice looking projector. So, I mean, if you have a living room or something like that, it's very, very nice looking. These are all metal strips, actual metal. And on the back, it's the same way. So we're gonna go over the inputs really quick, and then we're gonna talk about some more of the good stuff. All right, so for the inputs, we've got our power input. We've got an optical for audio. We've got 2 USB inputs, 3 HDMI inputs, 1 with eARC. We've got a headphone jack and a LAN cable. Now the Pro 2 does have its own audio, like I had hooked up to my home theater system, but it does have onboard audio. I mean, you're not going to buy this for the audio. I mean, let's get real. You're buying it for the picture quality. Now this projector does have a bolt or a threaded insert right in the middle, so you can use a ceiling mount for it. If I was going to install this, I would be using the ceiling mount, but we're going to be using the desktop mount, so we're going to have it on the little table behind the chairs in the home theater, so we can get it perfectly dialed in on the screen. I ran the Pro 2 like that, it did great. Places it about a foot from the head, but the Pro 2 was so dang quiet. Like the JVC, like I said, it's really noisy. You cannot do that with the JVC on high. With this Pro 2, it was no problem. I'm hoping this is the same way. So ways this differ, we're not gonna have to use keystone correction if it's too high or too low. We can square up the image where the sides are perfect, perfectly the same width, a nice little rectangle, and then we can vertically move the lens with our lens shift is going to move the lens and bring it down onto the screen. So this gives you less, you're not electronically distorting the image, trying to stretch it to fit a screen, which is what keystone does. Again, on the Pro 2, I did have to use keystone because it did not have this feature, but it was still so sharp. I mean, it was, in some cases, the JVC was softer and it was sharper than the JVC. Of course, they're using some sharpness technology, but I mean, who cares? The end result is the image was that good. Now, some ways that the Pro 2 differ. The Pro 2 couldn't handle, I think, 24 frames a second. The JVC did look maybe a little smoother on some scenes. This supposedly does, so we're gonna see how that looks. Also, another thing is the Pro 2 was rated at 3,000 lumens. It was brighter than my JVC. I mean, sometimes I'm like, it was as brighter. Honestly, it's brighter. Okay, I was using the Pro 2 on one of the more natural, like the cinema mode, that was more, you know, it's not calibrated, but it was found to be closer to calibration. This has already been third-party tested from Projector Central. So I wasn't using it in its max brightness mode, you know, where the colors are all goofy looking. It had a very natural looking picture. It was brighter than the NZ8. And like I said, I could put it right by my ear, a foot from my head, and it was perfectly fine. It wasn't like way brighter, but it was noticeably brighter. So this Max having 3,500 lumens, another 500 lumens, I'm looking forward to seeing that, because with HDR, you need all the light output you can get. Of course, this has active 3D. Okay, so for HDR formats, of course, we've got HDR10, HDR10 Plus, Dolby Vision, and HLG. It can also handle 24 frames per second, 48 frames per second. You can get this calibrated. It has the settings so it can be ISF calibrated if you'd like to do that. And that's always a really good idea if you've got the money, you know, $500 or $600, however much it costs locally for you to have someone come in and calibrate your projector. And a 50,000 to 1 contrast ratio with the iris. Resolution, you know, of course, it's a 4K projector. Now I am gonna put in quotations, like the Pro 2 actually did not have a 4K panel. So they're upscaling, you know, to 4K. Which is pretty much what Epson does as well. But I mean, honestly, I'm comparing it to like the NZ8, which has a 4K panel. So it's natively, it's not having to upscale it when you feed it 4K content. Honestly, it doesn't matter. The image is so good with 4K content. I mean, you can stress over that. But I mean, really, you're just fussing over nothing at this point, because the projectors have gotten so good at taking 4K content and putting it on, you know, a panel that may not be 4K native, that, I mean, they're competing. They just are. They're manipulating the image, you know, to sharpen it up or whatever they're doing. It works. So in the end result, who cares how they're doing it? They're doing it. But enough about that. Let's go ahead and get this thing in the home theater, get it set up, and see what this bad boy's got. Hey guys, so it's been a couple weeks, and actually it's been about a month. A lot's gone on since then, but we have really used this Valerion. We've had an update on it, tried out some different settings that Valerion wanted me to test out, including Iris Mode 6 and EBL, which that is enhanced black level. We've tried that out on the max setting. So just to see what kind of darkness or black levels we could get out of this thing. This is rated at 3,500 lumens, so there's no doubt in my mind that it is actually putting out at least 3,500 lumens. It's a very bright projector. The JVC NZ8 that we have up there, we've been doing some head-to-head comparisons with it, which we're going to go over in a little while. That is a 2,500 lumen projector, so we've got 1,000 extra lumens, and yes, it is extremely noticeable. Now, during the last month, I've been to Cedia, and I had a buddy of mine down from the Philippines, Wayne. He calibrates home theaters, designs home theaters, but he does video. It's one of the things he does for a living. So he actually calibrated that projector up there, the JVC, about 2 years ago when he was down for Cedia. This year, I wish that I told him to bring his calibration gear to calibrate this baby here. But he did check out some of the settings, capabilities, the calibration capabilities, and there were some that were even better than the JVC. I'm gonna let you guys hear from him. We videoed a small segment that I'm gonna splice in here so you can get his thoughts on this, because he demoed this as well with me and compared it, because I really wanted to know what he thought, being that he sees so many different projectors and calibrates them. But I will say on Iris level 6, which is Valerion wanted me to test that, and the EBL turned up to high, the enhanced black level, you're gonna see some scenes where I have side by side. We're gonna put them side by side on the screen and kind of talk about them. And with Iris level 6, it's pretty much as dark, or the black levels are very, very similar to the JVC. I mean, it's so darn close. Projector Central measured its 20/20 color gamut at like 90-something%. Had a higher percentage of color. It was more colors than anything JVC has at any price point. Not that that's extremely important, but it is very impressive. I mean, it really just means they're serious about this. This is not, it may just be a lifestyle projector, you know, it doesn't look like your standard projector that you would have hanging on the ceiling, but this is not a toy. It's a very powerful projector. Now it is DLP, so those are prone to the rainbow effect. Did I see it? Yeah, a little bit. Not very much. The Pro 2, I didn't see much either on the Pro 2. This one has some enhancements to help with that even more. I'm not sure what it is, but it's the world's first anti-RBE, rainbow effect and speckle reduction technology. It works great. Speckle, I didn't really see any speckle. I mean, the picture, honestly, the picture is freaking fantastic. The colors are fantastic. I did see rainbow effect a few times, but not enough to where I wouldn't use this projector. I mean, honestly, I'm thinking about replacing it with the JVC, or I'm sorry, replacing the JVC with this. I know that's crazy, but the thing is the light output is just so nice. All right, so let's go ahead and check out what Wayne had to say, then we're gonna look at the side-by-side shots. All right, so I've got Wayne here, and of course he designs home theaters and completely builds them from scratch. He does both video and audio calibration, so he's very used to calibrating projectors, JVC, and all the different brands out there. So he's been here with me, and we've been going through bringing this through the ringer, the Valerion MAX, and he's going to tell you what he thinks about it.
Well, first of all, it's a very impressive projector, especially for its price point, which is way below its competitors when it comes to the quality, and so I was very impressed with it. Actually, the main thing you notice about it when you compare it to other projectors is that it's really bright, and a bright projector just makes you think when you first look at it to be really good when it comes to quality. Just like when you hear a sound a tad louder, it seems as if at first it's better, it sounds better. And so it's the same when it comes to projectors. This Valerion MAX is really bright, and so that's, I think, one of the main things about it. But coming out of the box and seeing it here in your theater, it's actually quite good. The theater mode is very close to a calibrated picture. What I've noticed is that it lacked a certain amount of red, which should be very correctable.
Yeah.
Correctable when you calibrate it. It's a little bit, it lacks that skin tone when you look at the skin tones. So that's the one thing about it. Another thing would be the blacks. The blacks are surprisingly good for its brightness. Normally if it's a bright projector, you'd be sacrificing a certain darkness of it, and so the blacks would be sacrificed. But on this one, it's quite really good. We were going through, what was it, Dark Knight Rises last night, and it has a lot of dark scenes there, and you could just see the black levels. It's really good. And with you having here a 16:9 screen, if the projector doesn't have very good blacks, you'd actually notice the black bars below and above it to be like grayish, not black at all. But on this one, it's really good.
Yeah.
Apart from that, with the dark scenes coming into the picture, if you don't have very good blacks, you won't see a lot of shades of it. And the darkest blacks would not be as black, but rather more gray.
Yeah.
This is really good one, and I think it's going to gain a lot of traction because of it.
Yeah. And you also, because you calibrate, you notice some things in the calibration menus that even JVC didn't have.
Normally, these kind of adjustments that you can make for the grayscale, wherein you have 20 points.
Yeah.
It's normally on TVs. You see these things on TVs, but this projector has it, and so I was quite surprised to see that.
Yeah.
LG has it, LG TV. But I have never seen a projector before that has this kind of adjustment. So it's definitely a very welcome thing for us professional calibrators of video.
Yeah.
To see that one, because it would give you much more control over the calibration process and of course the final result when it comes to the quality of it.
So rainbow effect is another one. This is a DLP, so that is an issue for some people. They've gotten a lot better than they used to be. I mean, for me, I just saw it around like when it was booting up, a little bit. Like if I look away, I would see it a little bit, but during normal viewing, I didn't notice it. So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I find the rainbow thing to not be really a big thing for me personally when I'm watching. And while this projector did have it, a little bit of it, it's not, you don't really notice it when you're watching. And so I don't think it's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
And in any case, you're not going to watch like you're going to go like this anyway, and so you're not going to see a lot of the rainbow effect anyway. And so I don't think it's going to be a big issue.
Yeah, like I was telling you, I would be happy with this projector. I mean, I have a JVC, but I mean, to get the level of brightness that this has with JVC, I mean, $30,000. I don't know if the NZ900 will be as bright.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Probably not. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's bright and it's quiet. I mean, that's another thing is we were sitting here, it's right behind our head, watching content, just testing it out, and I mean, it's right by our head. With the JVC, you can't do that. I mean, it is very quiet.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the left side, I'm gonna have the Valerion. On the right, we've got the JVC. Now here we have a scene from Batman. Now you will notice that the colors, they're different in all of these because the Valerion is not calibrating, also it's not picking the colors up properly when I photograph it. But it's very hard to see my camera or my shadow down there, because now the shadow is being blocked or it's blending in with the border. But the picture on the left, my head or my camera is in the border of that picture. You just can't see it because it's so black. I mean, it's pretty much dang near as black as the JVC. And we've got a lot of detail in that picture. I mean, it's kind of really hard to say one's better than the other. It's so close. Of course, the JVC is a little bluer, but that's just because it's calibrated and that's how it's supposed to look. And this is the newest Batman. Now on this one right here, you're also seeing how it handles the subtitles. Of course, there's no rainbow or anything around it. I mean, it looks great in both. It is different. There's a little more color in the JVC in this one. Of course, like I said, the Valerion's not calibrated. But then some of the wording and some of the pictures and stuff is a little clearer and easier to read on the Valerion. But this one's kind of a toss-up. I mean, the JVC almost looks a little bit better in this shot. A little more detail maybe around the guy there. I mean, around the curtains. So, like I said, the JVC is a very, very good projector. Now again, this was Iris Mode 6. Here's just a picture just playing around Iris Mode 3. Of course, the picture's a lot brighter, but we also were losing some of our blacks. You can see the shadow right below where it says phone right there. That's the shadow from my camera. All right, so now we have a few scenes from Oblivion. Now, again, remember my camera, I'm having trouble getting an accurate color representation of the Valerion. It doesn't photograph or record very well. For some reason, it kind of adds a pinkish hue to everything. So what I'm seeing, you'll notice the grass looks more vibrant on the JVC. That's not actually accurate. It's actually more vibrant on the Valerion a little bit because we have more color, a brighter color, I should say that. It's a brighter image, so just try to ignore that because that's not accurate. What we really want to look at here, of course, we know our blacks are very similar to the JVC, but we've got a lot more light. So it is a more vibrant picture, really, especially in daylight scenes like we have here. But let's go ahead and look at the detail. So if you look at the detail on his leg that's on the grass, you look at the stitching, the Valerion is actually showing a little more detail. It's a little sharper than the JVC. Now, of course, this is paused, the exact same scene. This is kind of proving that, just because one panel is a true 4K, and it doesn't really mean it's going to look better. And that's what I was telling you guys. I used to be kind of in the camp where, 4K was it. And I have been proven wrong because the technology on these 2K and these pixel shifters, has just gotten so darn good. And of course, they're using the 2K or the 1080p, the 2K panels because they can shove so much more light through them. It's not because they can't afford them. That's why they're doing it. They're understanding that the light output is so important that to put a 4K panel in there, yeah, it's going to cost a little bit more, but they could absorb that, roll it off to the customer. Wouldn't be that much more, but it's going to be a lot dimmer picture. And that's actually something I learned at CEDIA this year because I did not understand it as well. I thought they were being cheap. That is not the case. They can get the sharpness and they can get the representation. It looks like like a 4K panel just as good. In this case, sometimes it's better, but they're getting a lot more light. Now this is from Planet Earth on Netflix. This really shows off the brightness. Again, ignore the colors because you're not seeing what I'm seeing. But look at how much brighter that Valerian is. I mean, it is like opening a shade or just another level of brightness. It's pretty crazy, this scene here, to see in person. And of course, you can see, if you look around the beach, you can see how much crisper the trees are and some of the detail in the beach scenes. I mean, and even in the water, where it goes from kind of a clear water or from a green to a blue. And just look in there, you can see a lot more detail, or just a lot cleaner and crisper on the Valerian. Got a couple more videos coming out on some of the Valerian product. We have a automatic drop down screen to go with this projector. They also sent me a 5.1.2 Thunderbeat sound system. This thing's completely wireless, so we're going to give it a try and see how that performs as well. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see y'all for the next one.